The last race on the Republican side will be June 7th, when 5 states vote in the Republican primary, including the biggest one, California. Last night, the California Secretary of State released the list of delegates that have been formally assigned to each campaign. The Donald Trump list of delegates made headlines this afternoon when Mother Jones was first to report that the Trump-named delegate slate, which was officially approved by the Trump campaign, published by the California Secretary of State, the Trump delegate list includes this guy.
The American National Super PAC makes this call to support Donald Trump. I am William Johnson, a farmer and white nationalist. The white race is dying out in America and Europe because we are afraid to be called racist. Few schools anymore have beautiful white children as a majority. Gradual genocide against the white race. Donald Trump is not a racist, but Donald Trump is not afraid. Don't vote for a Cuban, vote for Donald Trump.
The white race is being replaced by other peoples in America and in all white countries. Donald Trump stands strong as a nationalist. The American National Super PAC makes this call in support of Donald Trump. My name is William Johnson. I am a farmer and a white nationalist.
And now, William Johnson, farmer and white nationalist, who has run those white supremacist robocalls supporting Donald Trump in at least 7 states during the Republican primary. That guy who voices those ads, who paid for those ads, gave out his cell phone number in those ads, this self-proclaimed white nationalist who runs the American Freedom Party, who's been working his white supremacist guts out for Donald Trump for months now. He has just been named an official delegate for the Donald Trump campaign in the great state of California. Josh Harkinson at Mother Jones reports today that Mr. Johnson submitted his name to the Trump campaign several months ago for consideration to become a delegate. Mr. Harkinson reports that this white supremacist guy submitted at least one of those overtly racist robocalls as part of his application to be a delegate to the Trump campaign. And the Trump campaign presumably reviewed all of these applications, and they picked him. And we know that because when they decided to name him to their official slate of delegates for the state, they sent him a congratulatory email directly from the Donald Trump campaign. Josh Harkinson interviewed William Johnson about his enthusiasm for Trump and how the Trump campaign fits into his life's work, which he sees as the goal of his life is deporting all non-white people from this country and making America an all-white, pure Aryan nation. That's the work of his life. And William Johnson is now exalting publicly over how Donald Trump and Donald Trump's success in the Republican Party has made things so much better and so much easier for professional racists and white supremacists like him. Quote, for many, many years, when I would say these things, other white people would call me names. Oh, you're a hate monger. You're a Nazi. You're like Hitler. Now they come and say, oh, you're like Donald Trump. After the Trump campaign congratulated William Johnson, farmer and white nationalist, on being selected as an official Trump delegate, after the California Secretary of State published his name as an official Trump delegate, after Mother Jones published this remarkable piece today pointing out that Donald Trump just named as one of his delegates the white nationalist robocall guy from the primaries, after all of that, late today, the Trump campaign decided to rescind their offer to William Johnson, farmer and white nationalist. They're attributing the whole thing to what they're calling a database error. But we do have the list from California of all of the official delegates from all of the campaigns. Apparently, because of this database error, William Johnson, the farmer and white nationalist, he will be taken off the Trump slate of delegates. Had he remained a Trump delegate, he would have been able to serve in that capacity alongside this man, who's also on the list. His name you probably recognize because he is the #2 Republican in Congress under Paul Ryan. Kevin McCarthy was briefly considered to be the next speaker after John Boehner stepped down last year. The job ended up going to Paul Ryan instead. Congressman Kevin McCarthy is second in command in the House of Representatives for the Republican Party. And heading into the California primary, he is now listed officially as a would-be convention delegate specifically for Donald Trump. So the Republican Party is not exactly being torn asunder by Donald Trump being their nominee. There is no heroic resistance, despite what you've been reading. Again, these are the results of tonight's 2 Republican contests in the presidential race. Right? In West Virginia and in Nebraska, we've got Donald Trump is the projected winner in both states. We're going to have the Democratic results in more detail coming up in just a moment. But you know what? These results on the Republican side, these are also likely to be the results in all the remaining Republican primary contests this year, all the way through June 7th. And the narrative will eventually wither and die that the Republican Party is somehow standing up to Mr. Trump or trying to stop him from becoming the leader of their party in any meaningful way. He is the leader of the Republican Party, full stop. This is the face of the Republican Party from here on out. And the rest of the country may be very troubled by that. But honestly, despite what you have been hearing from the Beltway, Republicans are not troubled by that. They do not seem to be.